Okay, we're going to do some example problems with the raising a fraction to an exponent. So let's say I had this, 2x over y, and I raised it to the third. Whoa. Take a minute and see if you can figure out what that's going to look like. You got an answer?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
8x to the third over y to the third.
Perfect. Everybody's going to get that exponent of 3. So I have to do 2 to the third, x to the third, and y to the third. 2 to the third is just 8, so you should write it as 8. By the way, with the exponents, sometimes they get ridiculous. Like if you had a number that was like 4 to the 17th, don't you dare try and figure out what 4 to the 17th is. It is such a big number. If the number is going to be something, you know, well over 500, don't bother. You should do out something like 5 to the third. That's not that bad. That's 125. But if it starts getting to be in the thousands, just leave it as whatever the number is to the exponent. I do not expect you to be doing out 4 to the 15th power. That's crazy. So, anyway, any questions on this one? Everybody's okay with why it is what it is? Yeah? All right, let's try another one. Say I had, let's do one like this. Say I had 2xy squared over x to the third, and you wanted to raise the whole thing to the fourth. So when you finish, you need to make sure that you have a fully simplified answer. So that means that you can't still have a fully simplified answer doesn't have x's, multiple x's. It doesn't have an x in the numerator and the denominator, or 2 x's in the numerator or 2 in the denominator. You combine them all. So I should have some number, an x to some power, a y to some power, a z to some power, or whatever letters I have. I shouldn't have multiples of them. So in other words, I'm telling you that these 2 x's, you got to do something with these. Combine them into one. So I don't have x's on the top and on the bottom. You have an answer? All right, tell me. 16y to the 8th over x to the 8th. I have no idea if she's right. Let's go through it piece by piece. So, me personally, I notice, this is her answer. I see right here that I can simplify those. If I have 1x on top and x to the third on the bottom, I'll worry about raising to the fourth in a minute. What do I get when I reduce these two with each other? Yeah, x squared on the bottom, and then I still have that y squared. Okay? I like to do that first. Whatever's inside the parentheses, if there's something I can simplify, I do that first. Then the last thing I'll do is the exponent, raise everybody to that exponent. So 2 to the 4th, I agree, is 16. That would be y to the 8th. And on the bottom, I would have x to the 8th. I agree. Does that make sense? Yeah.
How come you wouldn't, like, for the exponent 2, how come, like, you wouldn't put the 2, with the x in the bottom? If that makes sense.
Oh, like why is this 2 by itself and it's not?
No,
Oh.
the exponent, like, up there, the first one, how come the exponent 2 doesn't go to the x?
It did, right? Didn't it move downstairs though? You had 1x on the top. Are you talking about this 2 right here?
No, the exponent.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Because only the y is being raised to that second power. If I wanted to raise that x to the second power also, they'd have to be in parentheses. Yeah. So when it's written like that, only that squared is attached to that y. Nothing else. But see how this in parentheses means now all of these get raised to the fourth, because they're all inside that set of parentheses. Okay, let's try another one. So, again, I recommend that if there is something to simplify in the parentheses, do that first, and then raise to the exponent. It's not wrong if you don't do it that way, but I think it saves you a lot of work. All right, let's try, let's do 18 over 24. Oh, sorry. Let's have x to the negative 3, y times y squared. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's try that, and we'll just square it. Look inside the parentheses first, simplify whatever can be simplified in there, and then raise everybody to that second power. How'd we do? I have no idea what the answer is, so let's work our way through it. Okay, so I would handle the 18 over 24 first. What does that reduce to be? 3/4. Everybody agree? 3/4. I have an x to the negative third. So what do I do with it? I move it downstairs. If I have something with a negative exponent, it just moves down. If it was already in the denominator, it would move up. That's all the negative exponent means in a fraction. You just move it either upstairs or downstairs. So he's going to come downstairs and become x to the positive 3. Is everybody okay with that? It's a negative exponent, you just move it. And then if I have y times y squared, that's really y to the third. Is that okay? Yep. For the y's? Oh, I reduced by 6. So 6 goes into 18 3 times. 6 into 24 4 times. And then, so the y's, y times y squared is just y to the third. So far, so good? Now I need to raise everybody to the second power. So I'll have 3 to the second power, which is just 9, right? Because 3 times 3. And then y to the third to the second would be y to the 6. Yeah, you want to multiply. 3 times 2 gets me the 6. Downstairs, 4 squared would get me 16, and it'd be x to the 6th. That's my answer. And see how I know I'm done. This is what I mean. I don't have an x. There's not multiple x's. Well, wait 1 second. There's only an x. There's one. I mean, I know there's 6 of them. That's x to the 6th, but I don't have another x somewhere else. Same thing with the y's. Okay? And my numbers can't be reduced with each other.